a jungle larger than the US, holds the mystery of a lost civilization.
What is this place?
Is it true that an ancient people thrived deep in the Amazon, long before the Egyptians built the Great Pyramids?
Where do you get this technology, though?
Still unexplained.
Could there be an empire of staggering proportions, engineered in one of the most isolated and forbidding places on Earth?
It's absolutely unheard of in South America. I've never seen anything like this.
Now, 3 adventurers, expedition leader James Lynch, veteran navigator Rene, and field scientist Marsh Makhtari journey into the mountain jungles.
It's like a 4,000-foot sheer drop down there.
On a quest to uncover a lost empire that could rewrite history.
Whoa. This is a lost city. We've all heard of the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayas. But some people believe that there was an ancient civilization that predated all of them. That's why I'm here in northern Peru to investigate this further. As the son of a ship captain, I've spent my life as a world traveler, and I've always been fascinated by history's most compelling mysteries. One of the greatest lies hidden here in the Amazon. It's eluded explorers for hundreds of years. Many have even died trying to solve it. Tribal legends recorded by early Spanish explorers speak of an ancient race of light-skinned giants that dominated the mountains of Peru. Ages ago, they traveled from across the sea, or perhaps descended from the sky. Wielding great magic, they engineered a vast empire. But by the time the Spanish arrived 500 years ago, this race had mysteriously vanished. If we find the legendary empire buried in these remote Amazon mountains, we might just unlock the secrets of who they were and where they came from. I'm gonna meet up with a couple of good buddies of mine, and we're gonna go and see if we can get to the bottom of this mystery. Our trek begins 600 miles north of Machu Picchu, in the tiny town of Jaén, situated where the Andes Mountains meet the Amazon. Here I catch up with our expedition leader, James Lynch. Hey, nice to see you, James. Good to see you again in a while.
James has trekked to the source of the Amazon, been held for ransom by tribesmen, and even lived with cannibals.
What happened? Have you broken the car already?
Well, we thought you weren't even coming. You were taking so long. What was wrong?
Did you see the road I'm coming in on?
Our navigator, Rene, also known as the Human Compass, he'll try and keep us moving in the only rental truck we could find out here.
Yeah. So, Rene, is this car going to get us to where we need to go?
Oh, yes, I think so. But there are some things we shall see. Look, the rear tire over there. This is okay, but
Dude,
this
look
one
at
is
that.
not.
That's totally bald.
It's totally off.
All right.
But what shall we do? We go with this. Yeah,
Just go with this?
just go with this.
Okay, I like a man with confidence. We head into the mountains at the edge of the Amazon jungle, the place legend tells us the ancient empire existed.
Legends of light-skinned giant people with honey-colored hair and blue eyes. Now, where does that come from?
The pieces of the stories about the ancients are so similar from different peoples in South America that I've visited. There's stories about the white people. There's stories about very large cities. I'm sure that there's a hidden history of these people in South America that we're not quite aware of yet.
The stories of the ancients may be similar, but they aren't very specific. So we begin our search with a curious 500-year-old clue from early Spanish explorers. In the 1500s, they encountered a tribe living in these mountains above Jaén that was, by their account, completely unlike any other indigenous people. They were called the Chachapoya, the Cloud People.
We have very little written history about the Chachapoya other than what the Spaniards wrote. Blonde hair, blue eyes, which is totally out of place. They were out here in the middle of civilizations that just weren't like that. These are unique people.
But where did they come from? In fact, these descriptions of the Chachapoya are so similar to the ancients of legend, some believe they could have been the last living descendants of the ancient civilization we are searching for.
The Chachapoya were warriors, we know that. They built immense fortresses. They used tools and developed technology that we can't understand today. There's a lot of stuff that is unexplained about the Chachapoya that we don't know anything about. And so the first step is we're going to Limebambe. Limebambe is a little bitty village in the center of what used to be the Chachapoya Empire.
Although the powerful Chachapoya were finally overrun by the Inca 500 years ago, they did leave something behind that could help us. It's the last thing you'd expect to find in the dank decay of the jungle. Mummies. We've been granted special permission to examine 200 mummies, discovered here 20 years ago in cliff caves within the Chachapoya Empire. If these remains are different from others found in South America, they may provide our first physical clues to the ancients. But we're only allowed in the room for 5 minutes, because the heat and moisture from our bodies will affect the climate-controlled chamber.
Oh my God, look at this.
It's been sitting like that for, what, hundreds at least, maybe thousands of years?
And look at the teeth are in remarkably good shape.
It's a fetal position, and they are born like this and tied together like this for the second incarnation.
The Inca also mummified their elite. But 2 of these mummies are over 1,000 years old. That's centuries before the Inca even made it to the mountains. So the Chachapoya must have learned it from someone else.
They actually draw the person's face on
And where have you
the
seen
material.
That? Where have you seen that before?
Yeah,
in Egypt,
I've seen
right?
that somewhere before too.
Could this have been an Egyptian process?
But Egypt is 7,000 miles away on the far side of 2 continents and an ocean. So, could this process have originated independently here in these isolated mountains?
James, can you ask her how hard it would be to mummify in the jungle?
¿Cuál es la dificultad de hacer un proceso de mumificación en la selva?
Muy dificultoso para lograr.
The Egyptians stumbled across mummification by accident, from bodies found in dry sand. But how did the Chachapoya learn to preserve bodies for thousands of years in a place where everything rots overnight?
This technology is so sophisticated that our science today has not been able to retro-engineer what they did, because they said, in reality, the only thing that they can guess at is that the mummifying process took place in places that got rid of the humidity and controlled the temperature.
So we're in a perfect microclimate right now, and with the right humidity, the right temperature. How on earth did they do this to ensure that these things didn't decay any more than they already had?
Clearly, we can't determine the skin or eye color from these mummies, and they don't appear to be exceptionally large, but the technology used to preserve these bodies is just mind-blowing to me.
Where do you get this technology, though? Where does this come from?
The next step is to really go deep into the jungle to places that the Chachapoya lived.
We are looking for something older than this.
The Chachapoyan mummies provided a valuable footprint left behind by a highly unusual culture. But to learn more about how advanced they really were, we climb upward into the cloud forest to one of the few Chachapoyan ruins we know of.
Well, I think the first place we really have to go check out is probably the most famous location of the Chachapoya, which is a fortress called Cuelap.
What are you hoping to find?
I'm hoping to see what is different about this culture when compared to all the other cultures we know about in South America. These people did have knowledge that was not used anywhere else.
Yeah, that
it's
was unique
to them.
this area as well.
Why is that? Was there somebody before them?
Cuelap is the largest stone ruin ever found in the Americas. It sits atop an extremely remote 10,000-foot peak. But does the engineering of Cuelap set it apart from structures built by neighboring cultures?
Oh, wow.
It's like a 4,000-foot
Yeah. Please be careful, Rene.
It's my life also.
We know so little about the Chachapoya because most of their history has been swallowed up by the voracious rainforest. Just like the road we're using, as we near Cuelap, we find that yesterday's rain has turned it into primordial sludge.
Hey, easy, easy.
Put it in 4x4.
Yeah. There is no 4x4.
Damn. Damn.
What the hell is going on?
The road is very, very muddy, and look at this. You can see what we're talking about here. No wonder the car got stuck.
Okay, here we go. This way, this way.
Basically, we got stuck in the mud right here. There's nothing we can do about it. So the plan is we're just going to leave this vehicle right here and hike all the way up.
Doesn't look like this trail's been used very much.
Hacking through the undergrowth just drives home how amazing it is that anything was built up here in the first place.
Ow, damn.
The ground teems with life. You never know what you're going to step on next. And on top of that, the air is getting very thin. But it's all about to be worth it. Amazon tribal legend speaks of fair-skinned, blue-eyed giants with magical powers who ruled the cloud forests of Peru many thousands of years ago. It seems almost unthinkable that a culture more sophisticated than even the Egyptians lived in these isolated mountains. Our search for this fabled empire has led us to a towering fortress wall.
This is absolutely amazing.
Although it looks like it could have been cut right from the mountain by the hands of giants, we know this massive ruin called Cuelap was built 1,600 years ago by a more recent people, the Chachapoya.
The circumference is immense. You know, that takes in about 18 acres of land up there.
Think about how much rock that is.
They put more hand-cut stones in the building of Cuelap than exist in the pyramids of Egypt, if you can believe that.
But where did the Chachapoya learn to build such an incredible fortress in a place that would challenge 21st century technology? The Chachapoya were overrun by the Inca 500 years ago, and very little is known about them. But what's extraordinary is that early Spanish explorers thought that they resembled the legendary ancients, tall, with light skin. If these ruins suggest skills beyond what we should expect from an Amazon culture, could the Chachapoya have learned from the lost giants we're looking for? Could they even be their descendants?
How on earth did they move that much rock? They had an advanced understanding of mathematics.
This knowledge is the knowledge you need to build today a dam or a building.
And tons of rock, and none of these could be carried by a single person.
Look at this. This looks like it came right from there. So, I got a question. How would you cut this like that?
I heard that the Chachapoya had developed a technology based on plants of this region that they would mix with water, and with that mixture, they could split rocks open.
Cuelap is truly impressive on the outside, but other than sheer size, the construction doesn't seem vitally different from what other cultures, such as the Inca, were capable of. I want to see what clues may be hiding inside that could lend proof to the legend.
Look at this. You come 10,000 feet up, and then you're greeted with a narrowing corridor. It's a perfect fort.
Inside this citadel, we find striking evidence that the Chachapoya could have developed independently of other cultures in the region. It's interesting how all the structures, they're all round.
You see this, and it's absolutely unheard of in South America.
Circular?
Yes. A lot of the Amazon structures that do exist, they're either oblong, rectangular, square. Nobody is round. I've never seen anything like this.
From the ground, it's really hard to get a good appreciation for how big this site is. So for an accurate assessment, we sent up a drone to get the lay of the land.
Wow. No, look how many units there are. From down here, there's no way we could see that many.
There are 500 structures within the walls of the fortress. Now, these structures appear to be dwellings of the Chachapoya. Virtually all of them are round. It's an impressive settlement that might have housed thousands of people.
Now this one's coming up. Look, it's that helicoidal one.
Yeah, spiral. Could these unusual circular dwellings have served another purpose? From a bird's eye view, they remind me of crop circles or possibly even a constellation. So I wonder, are they looking up to a world beyond?
If they are doing these circles, which is unique to this area, if they are doing spirals,
They have mathematics.
could this possibly be the legacy of a civilization that came before the Chachapoya?
Perhaps the biggest question is, why is Cuelap in this remote location? Clearly, it's a solitary fortress that housed only a few thousand people. But James suspects Cuelap may have been an outer line of defense for that ancient empire that still remains concealed by the forest around us. So we expand our search deeper into the jungle. To me, James's theory makes perfect sense. Cuelap must have been guarding something very valuable, something of great magnitude. But what?
With all this vegetation, it makes you wonder, is there any other structures that have just been laying dormant for centuries?
You know, Marsh, when we are in the jungle like this, you don't see the ruins from far away.
You're right.
And suddenly, you see them, and you are 2 meters from them.
Exactly.
How much feet? How much feet?
6 feet.
Okay.
Keep a distance from him because that machete is flying all over the place.
This guy is dangerous with his machine.
Hey, without the machete, it would be a lot more dangerous. Trust me.
He's going to the left.
Guys, check this out.
Wow.
We've stumbled across an impressive 100-foot wall of rock that's pitted with caves.
Oh, wow.
All right, I want to go and check it out.
It is a cave over there.
Yeah, look at this.
Marsh, what you doing up there, buddy?
Well, it looks like there's another hole up here, another cave structure.
I
Just
find a
doesn't-
cave over here.
You found another one?
Whoa.
Another cave. Look at that. Can you see those skulls? Bones. Look at that. Wow.
Rene, just be careful. Anything you mess with, put it exactly back in the same place.
Yeah.
James, look at this.
Absolutely incredible.
Impact.
Yeah. Does that have an impact wound?
Not this one, not.
Before we can make any conclusions on these skulls, we need to explore the whole area, and especially the caves that are too high for us to reach.
What is that,
Do you
man?
see that?
Look, 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 look.
Oh, yeah.
It does look like something white.
They're definitely bones.
It's a whole skeleton.
I'm in the mountains of Peru with fellow explorers James Lynch and Rene Delmotte on a mission to find a lost empire that may have predated ancient Egypt. We have seen thousand-year-old structures left by a more recent people, the Chachapoya, but these were built with advanced technology that doesn't belong in this region. So it begs the question, were the Chachapoya somehow related to these ancient giants of legend?
What is that?
It is a cave over there.
As our search for evidence continues, our drone has spotted an unusual grave site.
Look, guys, it's a whole skeleton.
But is it evidence of the lost civilization we seek? Is it a giant? We risk moving the drone in closer.
It's pretty damn close to the rocks. Let's be careful now. Look at that.
Oh yes!
The whole skeleton.
Look at that! As the drone closes in, we can tell it's not a giant, but it's still a surprising and significant find.
I have never seen this type of burial. This is unique to the Chachapoya.
It's something that you would see in the Middle East.
Cave tombs are a phenomenon of ancient Greece and Egypt. Again, this suggests an outside influence on the Chachapoya. How else to explain practices so strangely advanced or otherwise unknown to the region? Mummification in the tropics, a mountaintop citadel, round structures, and skeletons in cliff tombs. To advance our search, we need more intel. Through James's vast network of contacts, he's located an unusual group living in the foothills about 20 miles from Cuelap. What makes them so unusual? For starters, they call themselves Chachapoya.
¿Cómo estás? Buenas tardes.
I was surprised to see they have fair skin and even blue eyes. History tells us that the Chachapoya were wiped out by the Inca, but the existence of this group suggests that some survived. Perhaps they have knowledge of the early Chachapoya, or even the ancients who purportedly came before them.
Más alejados de Chachapoyas.
He said that it's definitely an isolated population which has not been influenced by the Inca because the Inca didn't get here. It's an isolated valley, and they speak in a different manner.
Different accent, okay.
Which keeps them separate from everybody else.
Do they consider themselves Chachapoya?
La pregunta de mi amigo es, ¿ustedes se consideran Chachapoya?
Sí, nos consideramos.
Sí.
Do they know what the ancient Chachapoya looked like physically? And can they describe them?
Fueron personas robustas, gente alta.
That's very interesting. She said that they were very tall.
Are there any myths or legends that they want to share with us about where they believe their ancestors came from?
Media montaña hay unas casitas de piedra, pero ya están montaña, árboles han crecido en las casitas de piedra.
I didn't understand what the elder was saying, but I could feel we were onto something.
Antes de los Chachapoyas.
Antes de los Chachapoyas.
One thing they're sure of is that there is an older population that came even before the Chachapoya that were here. They had riches and power. They built roads. They made stone floors to their houses. There is a culture that was here before.
They even believe there are vast ruins deeper in the mountains that remain untouched, though none of them knows exactly where. I'm eager to resume our hunt, but good manners require that we share what you might call a stiff drink, because it comes with a surprise.
Este es un regalo para los más mayores.
It's a gift for us.
I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
It looks like it has hair.
An animal, a piece of an animal.
It's from a small mammal, and this guy, for some reason, thinks it's hilarious.
Okay,
Tell me that's not a monkey penis.
okay, it's yours, Marsh. Don't make it hard.
This guy. Cheers.
Salud.
Following a lead from the elders, we head back up towards the town of Lemibamba, where people claim they've actually seen ruins from a lost empire deep in the mountains.
Look at the rainbow.
I guess that's a good omen, right?
It's a sign, huh?
It's a good omen.
Local intel has proved invaluable to us during previous explorations, so we hit the streets looking for leads.
It's always best to speak to the locals, especially the elders. They get stories passed down from generation to generation. You never know what gold you're going to get.
Que los Chachapoya acreditavam.
Presuming you speak the local language, that is. But since I only speak broken Spanish at best, while Rene and James play detective, I'll go and play a little bit of football with the locals.
¿Cuántos años usted tiene?
Okay.
¿Así?
Mucho gracias.
Being schooled by a couple kids really puts everything into perspective. Well, the altitude. I mean, I blame it on the altitude.
Fortunately, Rene has better luck.
So I find out with the old woman that there is a guy, he is the man who knows about ruins.
Wow.
That's what she told me.
Wasting no time, we meet up with a farmer, hoping the tip was a good one.
Hey guys, this is Sinesio. Sit down, please, Sinesio. His family has land over there in the mountains, and there are ruins. Sinesio, estas ruinas son grandes.
Sí, muy grandes, pero está muy lejos.
Más grande que Lap.
Más grande que Cuela.
Dude.
I heard grande.
There's ruins that are basically undiscovered.
So there's all right. So hold on,
Archaeologists haven't even gotten
So
there,
there's
buddy.
a fort on his property, and nobody's seen it before.
And bigger than Quilap.
It's also harder to reach, because what Sinesio calls a farm, we would call in the middle of nowhere. It's apparently half a day's journey through the jungle from Lemibamba. Over the next few days, we assemble gear and supplies, along with horses to carry it across the impossible terrain.
Can we make sure that it's balanced on the horses?
And because the ruins are deep within the forest, we've flown in some specialists from the US, brothers Travis and Jared Widner. They'll help us see through all that dense vegetation with a high-tech tool that's fairly new to these parts, LiDAR.
So LiDAR is essentially lasers, GPS, with a drone. We're going to be able to see through all the jungle foliage, and if it's as big as we think it is, that's why we need you guys.
It uses 32 lasers that we'll put up, and we'll go scout the area just to get kind of a bird's eye view, and from there, we'll build basically a grid that we think will give us a sufficient coverage with the LiDAR.
This is the drone.
Yes.
It won't fit in my backpack.
Watch it, don't stand behind. Yeah.
Don't stand behind.
Whoa. Hey, shh. Most horses get excited before they go on a little walk, so hopefully that's all it is, just pre-excitement jitters.
Oh, they are like me.
And us.
I think we all have the pre-excitement jitters, guys.
Watch out, he's looking at
Este caballo es suyo. Vámonos.
Don't pull the reins back when he's going downhill. Give him reins.
We brave the mountain ridge, and what really hits home for me is how many people spent their entire lives looking for this legendary empire. If, by day's end, we indeed find an archaeological site once capable of supporting a vast population with engineering techniques atypical for this region, well, that could rewrite what we understand about the history of South America.
Oh, be careful. Be careful.
End of the road?
From here on, it's a piece on foot, man.
After several hours, we get as far as the horses can take us.
Sinesio, ¿cuánto tiempo hasta llegarmos a las ruinas?
Más o menos unas 4 horas.
Said 4 hours.
4 hours. If Sinesio's ruins are for real, there's a good reason why no one's found them yet. It's a much more grueling trek on foot.
Do you need a hand?
I'm okay.
The air is also getting thin, and we fight for every step. The growth is so dense, you can't see more than 5 feet in front of you. With each swing of the machete, we open up a curtain to the unknown.
What is this place?
Oh, wow.
On a farmer's overgrown land in a remote corner of Peru, our search for a lost civilization leads to a shocking new discovery.
What is this place?
I don't know. But it's big.
Señor James,
Estos son las ruinas.
This is a lost city, guys.
This is where...
Ignacio, you weren't lying, eh, buddy? We're face to face with the remnants of an unexplored city. But is it the evidence we're looking for? Are these the ruins of an ancient civilization that may have thrived thousands of years before the Chachapoya, the Inca, or even the Maya?
This is huge.
Ignacio, entonces las ruinas empiezan aquí?
Sí,
Caminando cuánto tiempo?
1 hora y media más o menos.
Caminando.
Caminando, sí.
What'd you say?
This is the outskirts. We have to walk an hour and a half to get to the other side.
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Quilap, how fast did we do that?
30 minutes?
30 minutes.
If that?
Yeah.
Cuelap was the size of 11 city blocks. Now, if this site is actually larger, it could be the remains of our lost empire, perhaps the most advanced ever to arise in South America.
This is the outskirts.
To make a quick survey of how extensive these ruins may be, we break out the LiDAR.
We're gonna have to find a clearing and then we'll take off from there and we'll scan the whole area.
All right, let's go look for something.
Let's do it. This looks like a good spot for us.
It's wide enough?
It'll work.
Yeah?
All right.
Great.
This is pretty spectacular. The drone-mounted LiDAR is a $250,000 setup. Rigs like this are revolutionizing archaeology. But it all takes special training, which is why we brought along the pros.
It's kind of like X-ray for the jungle. And this technology enables you basically to peel back foliage and trees and overgrowth for ruins like what we're trying to discover today.
It bounces light down and it bounces back up.
Yes, sir.
It's a visual sonar, right?
Similar, yes, very similar.
That's cool, the legs, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
How long does the whole thing take?
The whole mission will take about 20 minutes.
As it hovers over the forest, the LiDAR shoots millions of laser pulses downward to collect map data. Next, Travis and Jared bring in the drone to process the raw data and to generate a 3D map of the site.
So what you're looking at is you can actually see our drone path here.
That's the grid, yeah.
Yeah, you can see our grid, that we have even coverage.
What we're seeing is treetops, right?
Yes, sir.
Can we go below that?
Yeah, so I'm just going to start peeling back
Yeah.
as we go, and you'll start to be able to see some of the features come out.
Oh, wow.
And so now,
Oh, look at that.
and so what we thought was really impressive is from the top-down view, you can actually see it looks like there's a large structure here on the top.
The ruins at this site extend more than 3,000 feet in every direction. They fan out from a central plaza at the top of the ridge, then down a series of terraces which feature the same kind of round foundations we saw at Cuelap.
Oh, it's right there. That is a huge central plaza, or whatever we're going to call
And
it.
it is right at the top of the mountain.
They've actually positioned towers on each corner of this upper terrace.
Oh my God.
How can you tell that
Observatory?
that's not just a bunch of trees?
Well, we went and stripped off anything that's higher than a certain elevation.
And it knows it's ground because the laser doesn't get any returns beyond that point.
Could this be a wall going all the way around it?
It's possible.
But this is all hidden because it's under a forest. All these structures here.
And nobody knows about this.
What would you estimate being the size of this area, this town or village or fortress?
It looks like it might be 20 acres to me, based on the data.
Oh, it's bigger than Cuelap.
Well, this isn't all. We scanned a second site. There's a second site out there. It might be 10 acres.
10 more in addition to the 20.
Whoa, stop. Now we have 10 more acres that's right next door.
A couple kilometers away.
So we're talking about not just a city here, we're talking about an entire, several cities.
Exactly.
We are the first ever to survey this area, and the findings are extraordinary. But the LiDAR readings can't tell us if these are Chachapoyan ruins or something entirely different. Could this actually be the empire of the ancients? We prepare to plunge into the unknown and see for ourselves. We've completed an aerial LiDAR scan of a vast ruin we found on a remote mountaintop. An ancient city swallowed up by the jungle long ago. But could this be the empire of the giants?
Can't see anything. It's so overgrown.
To properly survey the site, we have to begin at one end and hike down its entire length.
It has to curl back that way.
The aerial LiDAR reveals that the site covers 20 acres, and that there's a second 10-acre site just to the north. This suggests a civilization far larger and more sophisticated than anything we've seen so far. But who built it?
Look, there are a lot of them. It's not just a wall.
Look at it's all round as well.
It's another round.
This is fantastic.
It just might be early Chachapoya.
Yeah, it looks similar in the round nature.
Oh, there is a stone wall in front of us. This is huge.
Look at this, guys. Everything we've seen has been Chachapoya. In fact, we can see a round design to this older wall right next door to it. This one has the squared side and the straight lines. We've never seen the mixture of those two before.
Let's keep going, huh?
Let's go.
Another ancient ruin there. Everywhere you turn here, it's incredible. This was really a spread out city.
We reach the top of the ridge and the outer walls of the site's central complex.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this, James.
It's the sign of the snake. Definitely have Chachapoya influence there, because sign of the snake was, in that form, was exclusive to them. It was like a trademark.
James, I have seen this snake in the Marajoara culture. We have seen that in the...
In where?
In
Marajoara.
Marajoara.
Where's that?
It's an island at the mouth of the Amazon River.
We have seen that.
So you've seen this in the Amazon?
We have seen
So
this.
then that begs the question, is this Chachapoya or is this just something way older?
The Marajoara, they live 2,000 miles east of here, near the coast of the Atlantic. Could this shared serpentine symbology be more than a coincidence?
What happens if you get two peoples that initially were one?
Well, maybe all those cultures came from this one single culture that we're looking for.
As the clouds darken, we continue further into the site, which is almost obliterated by forest growth. The ruins turn out to be a huge network of walls, gateways, and structures we never anticipated.
Wait a sec, wait. You guys are missing something here. This is a deep, man-made cave that goes all the way through the mountain here. It must be about 50 meters long. This is totally different.
Let's see
Take a look at it.
Let's see what is on the other side.
This is the first time that we've seen a tunnel.
Flashlight here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Is there any other exit, vertically or laterally? No.
The way they put those rocks there, that's a technique that's used quite often in modern day construction.
The tunnel runs more than 100 feet and looks almost modern in its design. There is an extraordinary skill set here, and no clear explanation of where that came from.
It could be Chachapoya, but I think this is a high level of Chachapoya because this is totally different.
But this is a new technique that we haven't seen before.
Now, for what purpose? That's my big question. Rene, stay put. We'll be right over.
It's another hour of slogging through occasional rain and perpetual mud before we finally reach the far side of the mysterious site. But the hike is worth it.
Look at this, guys.
Having found a network of walls and tunnels on a remote stretch of farmland in the Peruvian mountains, our team walks the length of the ruin and ends at an astonishing sight.
Look at this, guys.
You can see where the old walls were. There's a rock wall there, a rock wall there, a rock wall there. Over there is what they found on the LiDAR. This whole thing could have been a city.
For miles around us, remnants of complex stone structures peer out from under the trees and the undergrowth. This is immense.
When the population overgrows the mountaintop, you go to the next mountaintop. So, yeah, we're probably in a giant city here.
It's incredible, you know, that nobody has reported these places, nobody's studied them.
Yeah, it's been forgotten by history and just overgrown with foliage. Let's go and investigate the other side, shall we?
Walking through these structures, from what we can tell, there really is an ancient world obscured by the forest. The more we uncover, the more it seems to fit the legend of an advanced and prolific people who once tamed these mountains.
What's really cool about what we've just done, we've just uncovered a site that isn't in any of the scientific literature.
We're here, we're seeing something that's drastically different from anything else we've seen, and this site looks even older. I am now convinced there is history to South America that has not been told, and that goes back much further than what most people think. I want to dig deeper.
I'm with you. I'm convinced there's a hidden history. This could change humanity and our understanding of how human beings evolved.
Based on what we've already explored, it's very clear that we're only on the outskirts of an enormous complex of ruins that extends far deeper, perhaps many miles, into the surrounding jungle. What engineering marvels, what advanced technology could still remain hidden at the core of this city? In the coming years, a full excavation of this entire area is in order.
I think we have a serious chance right now to rediscover history. Is this something that actually predates anything else that's been studied? Could it be of that different origin that we've been looking for? And yeah, this is something that I've wished for my whole life. And
exciting times, buddy.
yeah, this is it.
You good?
I'm good if you're good.
I'm good, man. Come on, let's go.
Could the creators of this place have been the ancient race that legend spoke of? Or was it built by the Chachapoya who learned from the ancients? Whatever we find when we return, one thing is certain. This mountain was home to an extraordinary civilization. The exploration of this site has just started, but the unraveling of a great mystery has begun, and a whole new chapter in human history awaits in the Amazon.